What's up, everyone? Welcome to Cracker. This is Loki's Den, and I am your host, Loki Goblin 13. I got some stuff to talk about, sort of, and I got a small haul that surprised the hell out of me, and that's the best kind. Yesterday, my fiance came home, and she's like, "Oh, I found something you might like, and I want you to come with me. You got to get you out of the house, because quite honestly, I haven't left the house in a while. All I keep doing is watching Gizmo and Seamus and making sure, Seamus is potty training right, and which you got to keep after him over and over again, and making sure him and Gizmo don't kill each other, which almost happened this morning. A lot of fun. But anyway, my fiance's like, "All right, come with me. I found something on my way home from work, and I wanted to show you." So went for a ride, and it's nice to get out of the house. And she found I guess it was like a bookstore. It was funny because the front end of it was like a bookstore. Like they had like dictionaries and books and stuff like that. And then the back end was all comic books. So she's like, "Yeah, get some stuff. What the hell? Have fun." So I'm like, all right, I'm looking through the books, and the guy had some new releases, and then he had the back issues, and I grabbed the new release that I wanted, and I was like, all right, what the hell. The new release I grabbed was Wolverine #8, which is was it 3 months to die, because he's supposed to be dropping dead soon. Of course, they got to kill him off. But that was a new release. Then I was looking through the back issues. I'm like, all right, let me see if I can find some Spider-Man. Maybe I'll luck out. The back issues had no real rhyme or reason to it at all. They were just kind of thrown in. Spider-Man was in with Wolverine. Wolverine, stuff was in with Wonder Woman. Just everything was everywhere. And there's Seamus with his 2 cents. But I was looking through it, and I was getting kind of frustrated. I'm like, this is just insane trying to go through all this crap. But then, you never know. You got to keep, going through it. And for once, my fiance wasn't impatient. She was just kind of looking at the book section where I was looking at the comics. And I found a couple of Amazing Spider-Mans, and I'm looking at them, and they were pretty shot. Some of them were pretty bad. But I'm like, you know what? Let me look at the price. And the guy had on the back, and some of them on the front. The prices were insane. They were, nuts. At least the new book, it was the cover price. That was it. I wasn't charging anymore. Some of these Spider-Man books were such bad condition, and the prices he was charging, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm looking at one of them, which I'm going to show you, and let me show you, and then I'll tell you about what happened with this one. I found this one, and it's one I didn't have, and I needed this one to kind of complete a certain section. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, all right, it doesn't look that bad. I was like, it's rough, but it's not, shredded or anything. So I picked it up, and I look at the price tag, and I'm like, no way. Let me show you what it is. Amazing Spider-Man number 193. Basically, I think I need one more in the 190s, and I'll have all the 190s. I know that sounds stupid, but that's how I'm doing. I'm doing by sections, which I kind of gave up a little bit on Spider-Man, but I'm trying to get it little by little. But anyway, up here it's all sticky because that's where he had 15 stickers that were prices, and I was like, oh my god. I'm looking at it. He wanted, for this condition book, I'm going to show you that it's... Sorry, just checking on Seamus. Sometimes he acts weird and you got to check him. I looked at it, and I took it... The guy didn't even have it taped or anything. It was just like this, opened. At least it had a bag and a board. I guess I can't really bitch. As you can see, it's got creases all over the place. It's got a rip up there. It's I'd say it's probably in good shape. Maybe good plus, but mostly good shape if I wanted to go by grading. But anyway, the original price he had on there, well, not the original price, the price it had on there was $35. The guy wanted $35 for this, and I laughed. I'm like, really? I was like, are you out of your mind? And I'm looking at it, and I was like, oh my god. And the guy wasn't even paying attention. There was 2 guys. There was one that manned the comic book section. There was one that manned the book section. And it wasn't a bad store. It was kind of, it wasn't too big. It was it wasn't small, but it wasn't big. So I guess some middle range. Sorry, checking Seamus. And I'm looking at it, and I had a curiosity. I was going to put it back anyway, but I was like, I'm not buying this for $35. I've seen it, beyond cheaper on eBay, in better shape. So I peel off one of the stickers, and one of the stickers underneath it said 25. Underneath that was 15. Underneath that was 10. Underneath that was 5. Underneath that was 3. And I was like, good God. I get down to the one sticker, and it was 50 cents. 50 cents. And I was like, oh man, and I'm like, crap, I don't think I could put these stickers back on. So I'm kind of like, ah. So I put them on as best I could, but you could see that I peeled them. So I had already bought this Wolverine one, and that's when like I said, I went to go look through the back issues, and I brought it up to the guy, and this is really the only one he had that I needed for my collection. Everything else is mostly all doubles that I didn't need. And I brought it up to the guy, and I was like, dude, are you serious with this price? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, that's how much they go for. I'm like, no. I was like, do you know stuff about comics? I was like, I wasn't trying to be a dick. I really wasn't. I was just kind of, I don't know. I guess my attitude's changed a lot. I don't. It's just weird. Probably because I haven't had sleep in like the past almost 2 weeks. Because Seamus keeps me up, and I'm just kind of like on edge, I guess. But it was good to get out. So I was trying to mingle, but not to be. And he's like, well, I know all about comics. I'm like, yeah. I was like, you have a nice store. I was like, you got some cool stuff. I was like, but charging $35 for this book is insane. And of course, there's the magic words that come out every time. Oh, well, I have to compete with online and eBay. If you want to compete with online and eBay, don't raise your prices. I mean, if this thing was in near mint shape, near mint, I'm talking about like as good as you can get, I would probably say this thing's worth maybe like maximum $10 to $15, and that's kind of pushing it. I mean, I've seen this one in better shape than this, going for like $2, $3 online, and it's nuts. Actually, I'll be right back. Gizmo's attacking Seamus. Hang on. Sorry about that. They drive me insane. It's like Big Brother, Little Brother. Big Brother shows Little Brother how to do dangerous things, and Little Brother's got to follow right along. That's what he does. Which they're still doing it, but they're a little more calm. Anyway, like I was saying with this book, and I said to the guy, I was like, there's just no way that I would ever pay $35 for that book, especially in that condition, no matter how badly I needed it. So he's like, oh, well, then, he was kind of getting, I guess, pissy. He's like, oh, why'd you bring it up then? I was like, I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I was like, that your prices for these books are nuts. I was like, especially the condition they're in. And he's like, oh, well, how much would you pay? And I was like, quite honestly, I was like, I guarantee if you look this thing up in the price guide, I was like, I don't think it's worth $35. I was like, even if you wanted to charge $5 more than what it's worth, you wouldn't even get $20 for that. I was like, but thanks. I was like, I just wanted to see if you'd go a little lower than 35. And I was like, I just kind of started to walk away, and my fiance's kind of looking at me, and he's like, fine. He's like, I'll give it to you for $25. He's like, I'll knock $10 off. I'm like, dude, I was like, we're in two different worlds, man. I was like, it's not worth $25. Like, I was like, I appreciate it. I was like, but it's just not worth it. I was like, especially its condition, which, like I said, it's in good shape, but it's not like the greatest of shape. It's not even in fine condition. It's in good, and I went to go put it back, and he's like, what would you pay for it? I'm like, well, I wouldn't pay $25. I was trying not to give anything away. Like, I probably would have paid maybe $4 for that, and even that is being generous. But I wasn't going to say that. I was like, don't worry about it. I was like, no hard feelings. Like, I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I was like, some of your prices are just way too out there. I was like, the only way somebody would pay $35 for that if they were completely ignorant of comic books and just said, that looks cool, I'll buy that. It's got to be worth something if it's worth $35. So, he wasn't getting too pissed, but you could just kind of see like it was kind of like tweaked a little bit, like kind of like, this prick's gonna bust my balls. And I wasn't even trying to. I wasn't even trying to negotiate with the guy. I wasn't even saying like, what, I'll take it for $5 or whatever. I was just like, I'm just gonna put it back. So I go to put it back, and he's like, all right. He's like $5. He's like, I'll give you $5. He's like, that's the best I can do. And I was like, wow. I was like, that's coming down a lot. I was like, and I appreciate it. I was like, I really do. I was like, but it's still. I was like, I can literally. I was like, and I kind of did a little thing. I was like, I've seen it online. I've seen it online for $3 in better shape. And he's like, $3. He's like, Jesus. And I was like, it's not even worth the $3. I was like, it's not even in the shape of a $3 book. I was like, but, again, thank you. He's like, well, what do you know? And then he started to get pissed off. He's like, what do you know? I was like, well, and I was definitely a lot older than this guy. This guy's probably, I'm going to say he was probably 19 or 20 years old. And he claims it's his section of the store. I think what it is his father owns the store. His father was the old guy in the front selling the books, and he was the guy in the back selling the comics, which is cool. That's fine. Hey, that's what I would love to have that. And I was like, well, I've been collecting comics since I was, 8 years old, 7 or 8, and I was thinking, I know, yes, Seamus, I'm telling the story. I was like, I know a little. I was like, I don't know a whole lot, Sorry, just checking, make sure he's alright. Sometimes Gizmo does a sneak attack, but you'll probably hear them say. But I was like, I don't know a whole lot. I was like, but I know some stuff, and I was like, I know what some things are worth. I was like, especially Spider-Man. I was like, I know my Spider-Man. I was like, he's my favorite. And the guy's like, well, he's my favorite too. I'm like, so we kind of got a little bonding with that. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, but it's just not worth that much. I was like, I'm sorry, man. I was like, I really am. I was like, but I appreciate the offer and stuff like that. And I put it back in the thing. I tried to put it where I found it because, like I said, the whole his back issue things were a mess. And I got it because it was the only one that I wanted out of the back issues, and I go to put it back, and just as I put it back, he's like, I'll tell you what, man. He's like, since Spider-Man is your favorite when he's my favorite, and he's like, I'd rather sell it than have it sit here. He's like, it's been sitting here for a long time. He's like, I'll give it to you for $1. He's like, that's the bottom line. It's the best that I can do. And I wasn't going to mention what all the stickers, like, well, it was 50 cents originally. But I was like, $1? I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. He's like, $1, man. He's like, that's the best I can do. I'm like, you got a deal. So I bought it for $1. There you go. $1 for number 193. Which is pretty good. I think I need just one more in the 190s and then I'm done. Well, for that, anyway. It's like I said, sections. But anyway, on to some other stuff. A couple of my friends were asking me about the trade thing because they saw the video, like, oh, when's the trade stuff going to come up? I really don't know. My real problem, this is the honest truth. I give you the honest truth, like I always try to do on this show, which I pretty much always do anyway. Sorry, I keep glancing to make sure they're alive, because the two of them have been, the past 2 days, man, it's been nuts. I mean, they're going for the throat kind of stuff. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. So I got to keep, so if you see me, that's what it is. That, I'm making sure Seamus is actually going to the bathroom where he's supposed to be going to the bathroom. That's another fun thing. But anyway, the honest truth about the trade stuff. This is almost the same thing as from like years ago that I wanted to do trade stuff for all the doubles I have, because I do have a lot of doubles, and I've been looking through a lot of my comics, and I enjoy them a lot, but there are a few in there that aren't doubles that are just, they don't really fit my collection, and I don't ever plan on expanding on that, on like certain series of these things. I'm like, I'm never gonna get any more of those. I didn't really like them too much. I was like, they're cool to, I like to have them. When I was a kid, some of the ones I had when I was a kid, I always thought they were cool, and I'm kind of like, I don't really want them that much anymore. So there's a few of those that I'm trying to trade or sell. The real honest truth about why I haven't done the trade video and why I'm not doing it too soon is I'm waiting to get some cash, some extra cash, so that if I do a trade video, or I sell the books, or I trade them, or whatever it is, I'm going to be able to send them to you guys. I don't want to put it on there and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to trade, for example, I'm not trading this, but I'm going to trade this, and then somebody says, hey, you know what, I got the Amazing Spider-Man number 191 that you're looking for, or something like that, out of the top of my head. Would you trade for that? And, okay, yeah, but I can't send it to you yet. I don't have any money to send the shipping thing to you, so you're going to have to wait till I get the money. Which some people, like my one friend's like, he's like, oh, dude, just tell me what you got. And he's like, that doesn't matter. I'll wait. And it's like, all right, just let me do it in my own. I don't want people to feel bad. I don't want anybody to be like, I will do it. I am gonna do this stuff because I like I said, they're just sitting there and they're, I'd rather try to expand my collection on things that I really want and need than just have the double sit there. And plus, it would be nice to free up the box. But I want to have a little extra cash, like I said, so I'm actually going to be able to ship it to anybody, because I also want to have it open to everybody on YouTube. I don't want to exclude anybody because, you're, far away, and I want to be able to do that. So if someone sees the thing and say, hey, you know what, like some of my friends in England or New Zealand, Spiro.Geek, I want everybody to have a shot. Which brings me to my dilemma. This is an interesting dilemma because I'm still kind of... Sorry. Gizmo sometimes gets Seamus in a headlock, and it's vicious, and it's actually fun to watch, but you gotta watch and make sure they're not trying to kill each other. My dilemma is an interesting one. It's one that many collectors have to face in their lifetime. Sometimes you face it more than once. I faced it once, but I never went hardcore. Actually, I did. I did sell a lot of books back in the day that were very close to my heart, and they were worth quite a bit of money, and I sold them, which was... right now you kick yourself, you're kind of like, I wish I never sold that book, but sometimes when you got to do things, like I said, another video is my mom needed medicine, she needed medical care, so I sold books that I never wanted to sell. Like I said, I had Iron Man number 55, which is the first Thanos. You know, I had so many like key books where I was like, I gotta sell them. And the problem is, a lot of them I didn't even have online back when I was selling them. I was selling them to comic book stores for like dirt ass cheap stuff, because, you know, comic book stores, when they buy something, they buy it, you know, extremely cheap. So I sold a lot of books that way. But my dilemma, like I was saying, my dilemma is, I feel bad because my fiance, I know how badly she wanted a house, how, you know, beyond badly. Like, that's her dream thing, is to have her own house, and it's mine too, in a way. I've always wanted my own house, and I really can't wait for the day I can actually go to my own mailbox and just get my own stuff. But the problem with that is she had a thing with taxes that kind of screwed us, so we have to pay taxes, and we had got taxed on our tax, basically, is what happened. So she owes quite a bit of money for the taxes. And it kind of screwed us over for the house, because with the taxes on her file, they wouldn't approve the mortgage, because they're like, oh, well, you owe that much in taxes, you know, why are we going to give you a mortgage? So it kind of, you know the whole thing, you know how it goes. Not even about that in a way. The other thing is, I kept looking, I'm like, you know, the real reason, well, besides, like I said, besides getting a house for this dilemma, which you probably already know what it is, I was thinking, contemplating, I've been contemplating this for a while, especially when I made the trade video, didn't make the trade video, made the trade video announcement. I'm sitting there and I was looking at all my stuff that I have. You know, I have tons of boxes that I haven't even been able to open, because there's just no point, because there's nowhere to put the stuff. I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I kept looking at things and I'm like, you know, we've gone farther, my fiance and I, than we thought we would ever get. Sometimes we're like, you know, we never got this far before. We're always one step closer to the goal, you know, goal of having a house. We want to have kids. You know, we got our dog, we got our cat we wanted. We renewed the lease here for a year, so I'm not saying we're stuck, but, you know, that's kind of like another thing. Like, we had to renew the lease because we had nowhere else really to go. But it's a nice place. Like I said, it's not crappy. It's definitely upgrade. We seem to be upgrading bit by bit. But I know the major goal was to get a house. That was the whole thing, so that we could have, you know, like, you don't have to have a house to have kids. Sorry, I'm watching Seamus. I'll be right back. We'll get back into this in a second. Sorry, it's like Animal Mania over here, like WrestleMania with the animals. The two of them. Anyway, like I was saying, I know you don't have to have a house to have kids, but I at least want one kid. My fiance was saying, like, originally I wanted 2 kids, but then I was like, you know what, I'll settle with just one. Because I'm getting older, my fiance's getting older, and she's like, you know, I don't want to have kids, you know, any later than this, and because it's just going to be insane. We're going to be old, we're going to be tired, you know. And one of the real main reasons why I've held on to my collection and kept it so, you know, the way I like it, and not sold anything, is because my ultimate goal was I wanted to pass it on to my kids. Like, hey, you know what? This is what I had when I was a kid. This is what I enjoyed. You know, hopefully they'd like it too, and be like, hey, you know what? This is yours now. These are all yours. All these Spider-Man things. Sorry, just checking. You know, or all these comics, or these toys, everything, it's all yours. You can do whatever you want with it. You know, sell it. You know, if you want to give it to your kids, which would probably be disintegrated by then, go ahead. No. But that was my ultimate goal, because I always remember when I was a kid, you know, my father was like, oh, I had all that. I had, you know, the first Spider-Man. You know, I used to make boats out of it and sail it down the, you know, whatever. I had, you know, I remember my grandfather, I had the first Superman. I had that, and he's like, yeah, we used it as in the fireplace. I'm like, you know. And then my grandfather, I remember he gave me this old like wooden plane that he had when he was a kid, and I love that thing. You know, I don't even know why. It was like, you know, it was shot to hell. It was, you know, kind of, it was, you know, it was old. You know, it was from when he was a kid, you know, and I got it when I was in the 80s, and I brought it with me everywhere. And then I remember leaving it in my mother's car one night because we had gone out, and the next morning, well, late that night, my mother's car caught fire, which we still haven't figured that one out yet. Well, that was back in the day, and all my stuff in there was, you know, destroyed, and of course the plane was up in smoke. So, but that was, other than some of the things I've showed you from my grandfather left me, that was one of the coolest things, and I'm just like, it's gone, you know? And my father never really left me with anything. He never had anything really to give me that he had when he was a kid, because he always tossed it or whatever. So, I don't know, it's kind of like, I guess like in a legacy kind of thing, to be like, hey, you know what? I've held on to this stuff for so long just to give it to you. And there's Seamus. But I don't know, because my dilemma is like, I was talking to my friend and I was talking to my fiance. My fiance was basically telling me not to do it. I was thinking of selling my entire collection just to try to get, the cash together so that, because I guarantee, I was telling my fiance, like, I guarantee if I sold all my stuff, my DVDs, VHS, CDs, cassettes, my comics, my statues, my toys, I was like, I guarantee, even the posters, like everything. I was like, if I sold everything, you would definitely be able to not only pay the taxes off, but we'd have more than enough money to put down for the house, and we might even have a little left over so we can kind of get, shit together. But, sorry. I'm telling you, you gotta have, like, eyes in the back of your head with these dogs, and this cat, the two of them. But I don't know, like, she was telling me, she's like, I don't want you to sell your collection because you're gonna hate me, and I'm like, no, I was like, it's not even that. I was like, I'm just thinking that if by some chance we don't even decide to have kids, like, we're still on the whole thing with that. I was like, I'm gonna probably sell them anyway, because what am I gonna do with them when I'm older? I mean, as much as I love them, right now, like, it's just, the economy sucks ass. I mean, I can't, like I said, I can't find a job. Been looking everywhere. Like, and we're just barely keeping our heads above water now, with everything. Which, again, it might have been a stupid thing to get the dog, because we kept, like, saying, like, we don't know if we can afford it, we don't know if we can afford it, and I'm like, the hell with it, we're gonna get the dog because it's something that we wanted. It was another one of our little goals. So I don't know. I mean, I'd love to hear everyone's comments on that, the whole collection thing, because it is a part of me. My collection means a lot to me. Like, all the things I have, majority of them I had since I was a kid. Like I said, some comics I have, I got when I was a kid. My mom got me, as gifts. And I was thinking that even if I did sell my collection, I might just keep the Spider-Man collection for me, and maybe the X-Men, and then maybe sell everything else. I don't know. But we'll see. I've rambled on long enough. Just one of my dilemmas that I'm thinking about and going to think really hard. That's why I told my one friend when we were going over stuff, I was like, I'm definitely going to do a trade video because of, the doubles. Is like, sell them or trade them, whichever. But, I told him, I was like, I'm really thinking about my whole collection. He's like, dude, I don't know, man. He's like, that's rough. Especially if you trade in or sell your Spider-Man. Well, not trade, but sell your Spider-Man. He's like, you've been working, hard to get to where you are with that. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, it's fun. Like, most of the fun is getting them, just not, and then reading them, of course. But I don't know. It's something I got to think about because, I kind of want to get a house. I've been wanting to get that for a long time, and I know my fiance really wants to get a house, and I just feel really bad that we couldn't get it. And it makes me a little sad, because that's the one thing she wants more than anything, is to have her own place, her own house that's hers. She can do whatever she wants. So I don't know. That's the big thing. Like, I'm sitting there and I just kept, like the little devil and little angel, but like, but you love your collection, but you love your fiance more, and it's just books, it's just this, just that. To me, it's not just that though. Like, to me, it's more than just a book, or it's more than just, a toy. It's more memories more than anything else. Like all the fun I had when I was a kid, or the people I got this from, whatever. But then the little devil's gonna be like, don't do it. It's yours. It's yours. Like Lara Flea's like, it's yours, or it's mine. Who knows? We'll see what happens. It's something to think about. It's nothing I'm gonna rush into. That's for damn sure. If I come to this decision to sell my stuff, it's gonna be a while down the road. So I'm just gonna kind of weigh it out. But yet, I'm stupid. I still keep collecting the books. I still got the Spider-Man. And my fiance was telling me, she's like, next week, she goes, I got a couple days off. We should go to a couple comic book stores, and you should, just kind of, hey, sorry. She's like, just, remember what it's like to be in a comic book store, I guess. I don't know. She said something like, remember when you were a kid. I don't know. She's trying to, God love her. I love her. She's trying to convince me not to try to sell it. I don't know. But anyway. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you dislike it, hit the dislike button. Comment away. I really would love to hear comments, weigh in on what you would do, kind of thing, things like that. Might help me out. I don't know. But yeah, thank you all for letting me ramble and for watching this. And Seamus says thank you as well. And it's not the size of your cave that matters, it's what you have in it. Later, everyone.